We all look at life through lenses. The lenses determine your perspective on everything, but the lenses you use depend on where you're sitting.
Where are you sitting? And what lens are you looking through? This week you will discover there's a seat with your name on it and a new lens.
Welcome back to our Change How You Think weekly video podcast.
If you'd like to hear from us every week, then subscribe to our videos on YouTube or click on the weekly video tab at the top of this webpage, fill in the subscription form, and you'll get our free self-assessment ebook, Healthy Moods, along with your choice of mental, spiritual, or relationship information.
In the book of Numbers, chapter 13, there is the story of the 12 spies that explored the Promised Land, and then they brought back a report of what they saw.
All 12 spies saw exactly the same thing, but they had opposite conclusions about what they saw. 10 said the situation was hopeless. 2 said there was no problem at all.
So how can people have different conclusions about the identical experience?
It's because each one of us has a different perspective or lens. Our individual perspectives are shaped by our past experiences and the conclusions we made about those experiences. In other words, our emotional baggage.
The more painful your past experiences, the greater your baggage. And that would have a negative effect on your perspective.
When you allow Jesus to heal your past wounds, your baggage lightens and your perspective or lens clears.
But there's another way to gain a much clearer and more accurate view and interpretation of your life events.
Humans are unique because God has given us the ability to see reality from 2 perspectives.
That's because we are the only species who exist in both the natural and spiritual world at the same time.
Those 2 worlds have very different perspectives on reality.
An easy way to understand the difference is to picture looking at your path ahead with your eye just an inch above the ground.
Then stand up and look at the way forward from a vertical position.
What's the difference?
At ground level, you see all the dirt, dust, soil, rocks, grass, and the way forward looks difficult.
Yet when you're standing, those things now become insignificant and you just step over them.
We can choose which perspective to look through.
If you look at your life from only the ground level, the obstacles in your life may seem overwhelming. That will make you anxious and discouraged or even hopeless.
It drains your faith and makes you feel powerless. This is the perspective the enemy wants you to see through.
As long as you hang on to your emotional baggage and past hurts, this is the perspective you will use most often.
But Ephesians 2:6 says, our spirits are seated with Christ in heaven, which is pretty mind-blowing actually.
That means you can look at your life events from a heavenly or high altitude view. Here, there's no fear, discouragement, or intimidation.
When you look at your life from heaven's perspective, the obstacles shrink, and with Jesus' help, you can step over them.
There's a wonderful example of these 2 perspectives in 2 Kings chapter 6. Here, Elisha the prophet was surrounded by a huge enemy army.
His servant was understandably very upset and afraid.
Elisha wasn't bothered at all because he had heaven's perspective. So he asked God to open the eyes of the servant so he could have the same perspective.
Then the servant saw the army of heaven surrounding and protecting them, so there was nothing to fear.
So, the next time you feel overwhelmed, discouraged, or afraid, take your seat in heaven with Jesus and ask him to open your eyes to his perspective.
Remember 2 Corinthians 4:18 says, so we fix our eyes not on what is seen, but what is unseen. Since what is seen is temporary, what is unseen is eternal.
If you'd like to empty your baggage and change your perspective, come and join us in Free Your Mind and do the course Loving the Real You.
Free Your Mind is an online self-study program that will help you change how you think. It will guide you through a pathway of healing mentally, spiritually, and emotionally.
Through 15-minute videos, regular live group coaching calls, an online community forum, and 24-hour access to our entire video library, you can work at your own speed, anytime, from anywhere in the world, on any device, to begin the life-changing transformation you've been looking for. You can learn more about it using the links below this video.
We'll talk to you next week, but this week, ask Jesus to open your eyes.